Imagine what happens when one of the strongest beings in anime, such as Shigeo Kageyama, aka Mob, lets go of his powers? Absolute chaos? But how does such a gentle soul get to this point? In this video, we will solve that mystery with you as we explore the world of Mob Psycho 100. We'll be following the life of Shigeo Kageyama, an Esper of immense psychic power who could easily obliterate anything in his path. Yet, he consciously decides to pursue an everyday life, so stick with us to the end as we explore in depth the backstory and unexpected outcomes of Shigeo's biggest fights. But be warned, there will be spoilers. Let's start with the first battle, where Mob unleashes his full power, Mob vs. Dimple. Here we get our first glimpse of Shigeo's incredible psychic capabilities, which are horrifyingly cool by the way. It all begins when Mob is deceivingly brought to the hideout of a religious group. Then upon revelation, it turns out that their influential leader was Dimple, revealing himself as a spirit possessing a human's body. Dimple places everyone in hypnosis by utilizing his powers, turning them into devoted followers. However, when it comes to our boy Shigeo, this ability has no effect. Annoyed by this inconvenience, he utters the words that set Shigeo off. This resulted in Mob's rage skyrocketing to 100%, with every human in the vicinity forcefully launched away by the overwhelming spiritual power of this monstrosity. While underestimating his opponent, Dimple is quick to dash at him and even hurl some insults at him. Still, little does he know about the monster he's awakened. As Dimple continues to strike Shigeo, the devastating force of Mob's psychic barrier dissipates his limbs upon contact. It becomes clear to Dimple just how powerful Mob indeed was. Even after maneuvering around Shigeo at supersonic speed to break through his barrier, Shigeo quickly blasts him away and violently steps on his face. With everything else failed, Dimple resorts to his ultimate move, Wraither Beam, and immediately lands a finishing strike. However, the enraged Shigeo remains unfazed. Then with a simple tap on Dimple's face, Shigeo brings down the wannabe god, ending on a funny note with a simple at Dimple's defeat. Don't know about you, but this is one unexpected way to end the fight. Next, we have Mob vs. Koyama. While Mob usually remains a very calm and reasonable person, not even he can be lenient with those who dare harm his family, and such is Koyama's Sin, who in all his cockiness caused grave harm to a person Shigeo holds precious, his younger brother, Ritsu. Witnessing his brother getting pummeled straight to the ground, Shigeo charges Koyama at his angered state around the 55% mark, but gets sent flying into a wall. Not letting Ritsu be taken away, Shigeo quickly stands up, jumps and unleashes a powerful hit straight to Koyama. More impressively, however, is his psychic barrier, which helps Mob withstand the onslaught of Koyama's powerful Esper strength. But despite how powerful Shigeo is, Koyama is not to be underestimated. His telekinetic helix allows him to rip through Mob's barrier and send him flying, followed up with possibly the biggest beating Shigeo has received in the entire anime. It's here when Mob reaches his 100% power and begins unleashing the full extent of his psychic abilities. We're talking about dragging Koyama's body down several building floors and being unaffected by Koyama's signature ultimate move. Now, while Koyama escapes in their first encounter, the second battle ends in mere seconds, with Mob not bothering to hold back his powers. It's another funny note to end on, with Mob apologizing for the noise afterwards. Up next, we have Shigeo's legendary battle against Claw leader, Toichiro. The organization, Claw, sought to create an army of artificial psychics so that Toichiro could rule the world. But the only thing that stood between him and world domination was none other than our boy Shigeo. After discovering that Shigeo has the same powers, Toichiro declares Mob his enemy and mercilessly dominates him with his superior fighting skills, but is interrupted by Reigen. However, at the thought of Reigen being killed, Mob's limiter hits 100% and charges at Toichiro head-on. To fully commit himself to the fight against Toichiro, Mob strategically levitates the battle stage away from bystanders, and what follows is one of the biggest battles in the anime. For a moment, Mob was lost in the pleasure of unleashing all of his powers, but was able to quickly regain control. As both characters are similar, Mob can empathize with Toichiro and relate to the solitude both have endured, leading to Shigeo's sorrowful tears. While apologetic about the situation, Shigeo doesn't hold back, hurling buildings upon building in the battle. And we're talking a giant giant ball of it. This, however, awakened Toichiro's destructive impulses, and the two fight ferociously. It comes to the point Shigeo becomes sinister, twisting Toichiro's entire body from his fingers up to his neck. Usually you'd think this will finish the job, but instead, this unleashes the full extent of Toichiro's power. After a conflict of immense psychic abilities, Toichiro releases too much power, rendering his body broken and about to self-destruct. Mob, realizing this, evacuates everyone nearby and returns to save Toichiro by absorbing the explosion at the potential cost of his own life. Now a massive explosion does occur, but both Mob and Toichiro survive. The funny thing, however, is that the explosion actually forms a giant broccoli. This stems from the broccoli seeds that Shigeo had kept in his pocket, combined with the enormous psychic powers released in this clash. Again, what a way to end the battle! So next up is Mob vs Mogami. And now we have one of the more psychological battles in the anime, Shigeo vs Mogami. Reigen, Dimple, and Shigeo are invited to a wealthy client's house one day. They find themselves amongst a crowd of psychics. Once everyone assembles, their host explains that his daughter, Hasagiri Minori, has been possessed by an evil spirit and that whoever saves her shall be millionaires. After examining the girl, Reigen concludes that she was possessed, despite her claims of being falsely imprisoned by her father. As the spirit cover is blown, it doesn't hesitate to reveal itself and flaunt its powers. Immediately, Dimple realizes that this spirit is none other than Mogami, a former powerful assassin psychic who became an evil spirit after seeing so many deaths. After the initial struggle, Mob realizes entering Minori's mind is the only way to fight against Mogami, but what awaits Shigeo inside is a mind-boggling phenomenon that makes him experience a life of cruelty at the hands of Minori. Soon enough, Shigeo forgets all about reality and falls into Mogami's trap of letting his negative emotions take control and wreak havoc against the world. Fortunately, his new friend, Dimple, enters Minori's mind too and knocks Shigeo back to his senses. This enrages Mogami and uses spiritual mutation. He transforms into a gigantic monster and attacks Shigeo, almost obliterating him by wearing his mind down. With the revelation of life's harsh realities and pains, he grows uncertain that he can make any difference. But then, Minori's call for help ignites something deep within Mob, and he pledges to use his power to assist those suffering. This time, instead of using a negative emotion such as rage, he uses his positive emotions at 100% and frees Minori from Mogami's grasp. Aside from psychic abilities and hand-to-hand combat, you may have noticed the other recurring theme in these fights. That is Mob's emotional battle, leading to the most anticipated match of the anime. Ending the series with a bang, we are given the ultimate showdown, Mob versus his destructive powers. After Shigeo learns that his childhood friend and first love, Tsubomi, is moving away, he firmly makes the decision to confess his feelings to her. However, as fate would have it, he is hit by a truck while attempting to rescue a kid. Shigeo succumbs to total shock, causing his powers to surge out of control and throw him into a state of unconsciousness. As Shigeo walks towards Tsubomi, his steps cause tremors around the city, and any tree or building standing in the way will perish. Hanazawa, noticing this strong psychic presence, tries to stop Mob. However, despite his best efforts, all he can manage to do is save civilians from Mob's wrath. More people, such as former Claw members, the Body Improvement Club members, and even Claw's ex-leader, Toichiro, try to stop Mob's destructive rampage, but all of them quickly discover that they are no match for the sheer magnitude of what lies before them. Lastly, we have Ritsu, who tries to talk some sense into him, only to realize there's no hope of getting his point across. In a desperate attempt, he was determined to take Mob on with 100% of his powers. However, this too proves futile, as Mob effortlessly launches Ritsu into the sky. As all this chaos swirls around him, Mob is attempting to reclaim control of his subconscious from within. It has come to light that Mob has invalidated his other self since the day he hurt Ritsu. Ultimately, Shigeo's hidden self confronts him and accuses Mob of fraud. Unlike the other fights, Mob is not fighting an enemy, but with his inner self. Shigeo's inner self also explains that he fell in love with Tsubomi as she accepted him and his psychic powers without hesitation. He also convinces Mob that his master, Reigen, only exploited Shigeo's power for his personal benefit. Just as Mob hears this, he fades away completely, leaving only the subconscious Shigeo. In all attempts to reach Shigeo, Reigen battles battles through the harsh whirlwinds and the dangers of being tossed around. Despite getting smashed against walls and feeling hopeless, he wholeheartedly pushes forward with all his might to reach Shigeo. Initially, it appears that Reigen has failed, but with Dimple's help, he takes the lead and uses this chance to confess his deception. He makes it clear that he had been lying about being a psychic all this time. With tears streaming down his cheeks, Reigen acknowledges that everyone has another side to them. He affirms that although he loathes this part of himself, it was due to his deceitfulness that Mob became a part of his life. In addition, he explains that Mob is who he is today because of his powers too, and that the best course of action is for him to accept his whole self and move forward. Upon hearing these words, Mob begins accepting his powers and asks Shigeo to accept him too, just like everyone else did. With this, the two parts of Shigeo's subconsciousness are reunited, finally allowing him to become a fully realized Kageyama Shigeo. What a twist this battle has been! We finally get to witness Mob's tremendous power come full circle as he faces the ultimate battle against himself with a newfound understanding of his true self. As the series concludes, it's safe to say that the fights were all built from careful character development, making it one of the most enjoyable anime of its time. No wonder it won multiple anime awards for Best Fight Scene, Best Animation, and Best Action. Yet it continues to shine in other aspects, such as the plot twists and comedic moments, making the fight even more impactful. We hope you enjoyed this look at Mob Psycho 100's biggest fights. Check out our other video here if you want to keep up with all the anime hits. Thanks for watching!